So today, lads, we're going to be talking about something, and this is absolutely hilarious. This is absolutely hilarious. So, this is Candace Parker, and there was a clip that she was on. She was on like a TV show. Her and Cheryl Miller were being interviewed, and they're being asked about the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese rivalry. And as expected, Candace Parker, they have all turned on Candace Parker, and by they I mean I don't know if they're Angel fans. I don't know. I don't know if they're Angel fans. I don't know how to describe them, because I'm like, I don't exactly know if they are Angel Reese fans or if they are just like bullies and want to just bully a 23-year-old from Iowa, and they want to just insult a group of people, and they use a 22-year-old in Iowa as a vehicle to insult that group of people. But like, you just know these people aren't basketball fans, because Candace Parker is being interviewed, her and Cheryl Miller, and like the whole time they're talking about it, and they're like, we need to just make this basketball, and I stand by this. They're like, Cheryl, like they're like, they need to make this, we need to just keep it basketball, and it's like, this rivalry should be a little bit like the Kevin Durant Russell Westbrook rivalry, where it's like, we all knew they didn't like each other. We all wanted to see what was going to happen in that game. But what we weren't talking about was, oh, is Russell Westbrook jealous of Kevin Durant and all this stuff? And it's like, let's just keep it basketball. And it's like, if they don't like each other, that's fine. Who cares? And I stand by what Candace Parker was saying. She was basically saying, it was like, keep it basketball, treat it the same. And Candace Parker's point with everything, and I stand by it. I think it's actually a really, really good point. Her point with everything has been, treat our league the same way as you treat the NBA. Whereas, like, Neko Wumake is the opposite. Neko Wumake is like, watch, don't criticize, be curious, but you can't criticize us. Like, Candace Parker is like, I want this to be like the NBA. It was like, obviously, women's sports was being made fun of for so long, but like, we want it to be treated like the NBA. And Sue Bird is the same. Sue Bird was like, when she was talking about Centel, she was like, yeah, they're joking about us, but the difference is that everyone in the NBA is getting Centel. It's like, we're now part of the joke. It was like, we're part of the joke. We're being treated like the NBA players. And I think that is what people don't realize, is that is what the WNBA should be doing, is like, these players should be trying to get it treated like the NBA, but they want to be paid more. They want to make the same like amount of money, like in terms of revenue split, as the NBA players, which is fine if that's what they want. Cool. But then you got to be ready to be treated like the NBA. These players got to be criticized like the NBA. People got to break down their game like the NBA. People are going to make fun of them like the NBA. Come on, do we not remember the JaVale McGee stuff? I'm sorry, Angel Reese is going to get made fun of. Missing layups. They're like, I don't even mind. Like, by the way, people calling Caitlin Clark apple turnover, I don't mind that. Like, that is an insult based on a flaw in her game. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. Like, it's not an insult based on her race. It's not an insult based on what she looks like. It's an insult based on the fact that she's not very careful with the basketball. Yes, I've always said this, where it's like, if people start posting memes of Caitlin Clark as a baker making turnovers, like, that's fine. That's fine. That is the type of thing. That the WNBA should be kind of striving for. But if you guys didn't see, Candace Parker in this whole thing, they turned on her because Candace Parker and Cheryl Miller, they are talking about like basketball, and they were like, you know what, Caitlin's a hooper, she's fun to watch, she's a generational talent. And then Cheryl Miller just goes, and Candace Parker, obviously, because when she talks about Caitlin, she talks about Caitlin in the same conversation as herself, Elena Deladon, Brittany Griner, Aja Wilson, Stewie. She talks about Caitlin in that regard. And Cheryl Miller just goes, and Angel's a player, she wants to win, she's developing, she's getting there, which is true. Angel Reese has improved quite a lot this season. from start to finish. Like, I think she disimproved. She got worse in Unrivaled, and I think it's taken time for her to reacclimatize herself to 5v5 basketball, but she's gotten better. This version of Angel Reese we've had in the last couple of weeks, has been the best version of Angel Reese there's ever been. And I mean this, we're not gonna ignore that. We're not gonna pretend that doesn't exist. But what we're also not gonna do is pretend Angel Reese is in the same stratosphere as Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's worst game, Caitlin Clark's bad games. Like, I understand Caitlin Clark, she lost the game because of 2 consecutive turnovers. Angel missed 3 layups in the last 3 minutes, 3 open layups in the last 3 minutes against Washington in a game where they went from being ahead to losing by 7. Like, the difference is they're held to different standards, because Caitlin Clark is being held to the standard of a Stewie, of a Fee, of an Aja, where you can have 20 and 10, but if you make a couple of bad plays and your team lose, you're going to be at fault, which is a completely different standard. And that's fine. They're different level of players. But, like, they're all turning on Candace Parker now. They're being like, oh, Candace Parker doesn't know anything about ball. Angel Reese is the real face of the Chicago Sky. Like, these people are pretending to be Chicago Sky fans disrespecting Candace Parker. It's crazy. Like, it's actually crazy. And the problem is they're not basketball fans. They're not basketball fans. They are annoyed that Candace Parker is a basketball person. And the thing is, Candace Parker, as much as she was, again, WNBA royalty, Candace Parker was a hooper. But, like, before Candace Parker got to the WNBA, her brother played all over the world. He was a EuroLeague champion. He was one of the best players in EuroLeague. He then came to the NBA and was a starter for a good Toronto Raptors team. Was a starter with LeBron James Cleveland Cavaliers teams. And this is before Candace Parker even set foot in the WNBA. So she had been there. She had seen what the way the talk about the WNBA or about the NBA was like. Her brother's Anthony fucking Parker, lads. And Cheryl Miller as well. Her brother's Reggie Miller. And by all accounts, Cheryl Miller was the better player. Like, obviously, like, physically, it was one thing. But, like, Cheryl Miller was the star of their family. And his family with Reggie freaking Miller. These are basketball people. These are not WNBA. These are not like WNBA. We want to keep this league the way it is. No, both of them said it. Both of them said what Kathy said, which was right. The rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese has brought a lot of eyes to the game, and it has been objectively good for the sport of basketball, which it has been. And let's be real, it's probably ran its course. It's probably ran its course because the only people keeping this rivalry alive are people that want to talk about it because, let's be real, some people hate Angel Reese because she's Angel Reese, and some people hate Caitlin Clark because she's Caitlin Clark. That is the only reason his rivalry is alive. The real rivalry should be, is Kiki Iriafen going to take Angel Reese's throne as the best young power forward in the league? The answer, probably not. Probably not. But, like, that's going to be a debate. The two of them can fight it out. Paige and Caitlin. Is Paige going to take Caitlin's throne? There's a much better chance of that because Paige is that much better. But at the end of the day, at this point in time, Caitlin's had a much better pro career than Paige. So, let's be real. Like, turning on Candace Parker is not a smart thing to do. Turning on Cheryl Miller is not a smart thing to do. And by the way, Candace Parker and Cheryl Miller have not said a negative word about Angel. What they have done is they have defended Caitlin Clark because Cheryl Miller, as much as anyone, has been around Caitlin Clark. And, like, Cheryl Miller was the very first person last year to, like, embrace Caitlin Clark. And then, obviously, it took till the game when Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner went out of their way to embrace Caitlin Clark before and after the game. And the Phoenix Suns, the Phoenix Suns basically, Phoenix Mercury crowd gave her a standing ovation off the court. Like, that was really the kind of turning point in a way. But at the same time, like, Cheryl Miller, they hated Cheryl Miller because she was pro Caitlin. And this is not about basketball. This is not even being about anti-Angel Reese. It is an assumption that if you are pro, if you're in the media and you are pro Caitlin, you need your credentials taken off you. Like, there's been push for them to take media votes off everyone who vote for Caitlin Clark to be an All-Star. I mean this when I say this. If Caitlin Clark did not start the All-Star game, if she did not start the All-Star game, and it was due to the media vote, I mean this when I say this, every single media member that did not vote for Caitlin Clark would have been fired on the spot. Because let's be real, even if there's a debate that Caitlin Clark did not deserve it based on her play, you still vote for Caitlin Clark because it makes the All-Star game infinitely better. It brings infinitely more viewers and it helps the game. Just like in 2016, when Kobe started the All-Star game. Just like in other years. There are years where there are things bigger than basketball. There are things bigger than basketball. And let's be real. Let's be real. This entire situation when it comes to these players is nothing to do with basketball, because Candace Parker is a basketball person. And look, I'll disagree with some Candace Parker takes. I'll agree with some Candace Parker takes. But at the end of the day, it's basketball. She is a basketball person. And I don't think anyone will question it. You've seen her on NBA TV. You've seen her talk ball. You can tell Candace Parker is a basketball person. Whereas a lot of WNBA media are not basketball people. And the scary thing is a lot of WNBA players don't seem to be fans of basketball.